Hello, this is Dread from Epic Builds. In today's video topic, we'll be going over Arborus' 500 plus corruption poison Lich Monolith farmer. This can be viewed as Poison Lich Monolith Farmer V2, a video from the channel prior, as it is in all intents and purposes a complete upgrade. Before we move on with the video, I would like to promote my Twitch stream here at twitch.tv/apprentice_epoch builds, as I've been streaming a lot more often, and it's an easy way to get advice for builds or hang out with the wonderful community we've been building here. So the concept of the build is to use Wandering Spirit's node Spectral Putrescence, as it allows us to apply our poison chance in an area while also not hindering our single target, as the ghosts will all lock onto the same enemy if there's only one enemy around. Wandering Spirits will be revealed around you and start shooting nearby enemies with a poison bolt that scales off your damage and applies your ailment chance as well, making items like Plague Bearer an amazing upgrade for this build. We then use Spirit Plague to boost our Wandering Spirit's damage. Spirit Plague has two nodes in it that are most important for us, Pestilence and Endless Decay, which will actually be the only sources of increased damage modifiers we need for this build. These two nodes stack per cast and spread on enemies, so we can ramp up large amounts of increased damage with little effort, opening up gear slots for other affixes. Reaper form is our main defensive layer, as having an extra life on any build helps significantly in higher tier content. It gives us access to the skill Reap, which is a fantastic movement ability, and when paired with Transplant, it allows us to fly through Monolith Echoes with ease. It also provides us with a lot of free global poison chance from the node Herald of Rot. Now, we counteract the degen from Reaper form with the insane amounts of leech that poison gives us, thanks to Lich having global leech, which allows us to leech from our damage over time sources, which is amazing as we're doing a lot of that, and Wandering Spirits completely sustains Reaper form for a very, very long time, making it so we don't require other sources like Aura of Decay. Death Seal being our secondary defensive layer, providing us with a lot more damage, which scales our percentage damage from Spirit Plague through the roof, global poison chance from Puissant Presence, and an extra way to stack poisons with Mortal Pulse casting Death Waves. One cool tech this build takes versus other builds of this style is Entreat the Damned, when Death Seal is activated, it adds on to Wandering Spirit's duration, which will increase the amount of spirits on the same screen, providing with larger amounts of clear and single target. Very, very spicy. Transplant gives us a lot of utility and single target potential, as the explosions from Rain of Blood, Depravity, and Black Mirror will all apply our poison chance, allowing us to stack insane amounts of poison on a single target. Violet Emergence also gives us a 20% cull against bosses, which is amazing for stuff like Shade of Arborus or Echo bosses, as pretty much a fifth of their HP is deleted, so it makes fights happen way quicker. For notable nodes we take on the passive tree, Decaying form is definitely one of the most important ones, as getting as much global poison chance as possible is important, as it scales all of our damage sources immensely. The increased poison damage taken is not really an issue, as we have so much leech, most damage over time effects do not affect us. Another notable one, Soul Maw, gives us all the sustain we would ever want, as Global Leech is insanely strong with poison stacking, making Lich very unique, as it's one of the only classes you can leech from your damage over time effects, making it so we don't require something like a Bleeding Heart, so we can focus more on other types of gearing. Lasting Stench is a very strong single target damage node, as the longer our poisons last, the more damage they will deal to tanky targets like Shade of Arborus and Monolith Echo bosses, and it increases our clear, as it only takes a few shots from our Wandering Spirits to clear most enemies. For gearing, the most important piece of the set is the Plague Bearer staff, as 220% global poison chance is one of the highest amounts of poison chance you can get from one item in the game, and because of our leech is so strong, the downside of draining your current health total is not too much of a problem here. Now, you could get an Exalted T7 Poison Staff with cast speed on it, and it would technically outperform a Plague Bearer Staff as you're casting Spirit Plague a bunch, so you definitely want some cast speed. But for this build, just having a Plague Bearer Staff is plenty for 500 plus corruption. Another unique that's wonderful for the build is Wings of Argentis. There is only one line of text on this item that matters, and it's taking 40% less damage while moving. Since most of our damage comes from wandering spirits, which we do not need to stop for, most of the time we are moving, which makes us a lot tankier for those really hard corruption levels. Having haste on hit also gives us free movement speed, which makes moving through echoes a complete breeze. Siphon of Anguish is a new unique ring that is only dropped from the Shade of Arborus, and it allows you to apply the Doom ailment on hit. The Doom ailment does a large amount of void damage over time, but normally it's very hard to scale this void damage over time as it only stacks for a time. But thanks to Death Seal and Spirit Plague boosting your generic damage over time damage, it allows Doom to at least deal 25% of your overall single target DPS, which is an insane upgrade for endgame. In the build, Arborus does have a lot of his resistances capped through blessings, but you can sub out amounts of HP and endurance for resistance until you're done farming for these blessings. For gearing, you want to focus on capping resistances, poison chance, increase in hybrid HP, movement speed, critical strike avoidance, and then cooldown recovery speed, as cooldown recovery speed will increase the amount of times that you can actually cast Wandering Spirits. Crit avoidance, obviously, so you can take critical mods on the monolith. Movement speed, so you can move through the monolith faster. Increase HP, as you'll be tankier, so you don't die, so you can keep moving through the monoliths. And capping resistances, of course, so you don't die. Idols you want to be focusing on are 2 ornate idols with damage while transformed and cooldown recovery speed with Transplant, as the more times you transplant in a boss fight, the more poison stacks you can apply. Then of course fill out the rest of the idols with as much global poison chance as you can get. Thank you so much for Arborus for letting me showcase the build, and thank you all to all my viewers who watch my videos and give me all the love and support in the world. This has been Dread from Epic Builds, and I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day.